unfortunately for row 2 of the grid. That's Nick Nielsen trying to get alongside his teammate. The 51 car, James Collado, the pole sitter. The Fred cars are side by side. They run out wide. Collado keeps his nose in front, and the third place Blue Alpine ahead of the gold of the first of the Cadillacs. Earl Bamber started 4th on the grid. Has he made it through? It looks, in fact, it's the BMW 3rd. So that is Kevin Magnussen. Good, clean start, but the Ferrari's already showing. And drama, bits flying off. One of the Peugeots was on the dirt, and one of the caddies has dropped right back. The number 12 car down to 11th place. Will Stevens getting shuffled out in the first couple of corners. It's Ferrari 1, 2, 3 wide behind the BMW for 4th place. Anthony Davidson, what a start.
Yeah, there's a bit of wheel banging as well. Side-by-side action with the number 35 Alpine versus the Jota there on the exit of turn 6 on the run to turn 7.
Earl Bamber in that caddy giving no quarter, and he gets shuffled down the order. The Alpine went by. That's Ferdy Habsburg.
Looking further back, Mike Conway, the number 7, has lost a position to the BMW number 20. That's René Rast at the wheel. They were jostling for position. Number 7 was in front before turn 6, so lost a position there. Now has Robert Kubica in that yellow Ferrari. You can see there in midfield, right behind him in his mirrors.
Yeah, the yellow Ferrari is dropping back a little from that first of the Toyotas to the Porsche of Julian Andlauer. There are the Aston Martin Valkyries. Listen. Oh, we'll get much more of that in the next 10 hours. They just make a fabulous noise.
Buemi is already in the car number 8, made up a few positions, I think 3 or 4 positions in fact, at the start of this race.
He's just pulled ahead of Lawrence Mansell, gone ahead of the 6 car, which has gone backwards in the early corners of this race.
Just saw the shot, very quick shot of Sebastian Buemi in the black Toyota right at the top of the picture, coming up the order, and now challenging the Peugeot ahead of him, and that is Loic Duval, the Peugeot white with the green highlights. In LMGT3, 2 Ferraris there are 4th and 5th, the silver cars. And everybody has made it through safely. Didn't look like major drama. Leader in the LMGT3 is James Cottingham's United Autosport McLaren. There you can see one of the Mustangs having a little feint and trying to move up the order, and that was Stefano Gattuso trying to put a move on the yellow Corvette of Ben Keating. Let's take a look at the start. There are the 2 McLarens. They started side by side, the orange and black cars. Lexus and Ferrari, both with a car on row 2 and row 3.
Bit of contact further back down the pack with the blue Porsche and the yellow Corvette, who muscles his way by.
I think that was Ben Keating in the second of the yellow Corvettes. He started that car and he has dropped down the order. Ben is down in 12th at the moment. Looking in the McLaren garage, the United Autosport team. And on board again with the Porsche, and this...
That's on board the Mustang.
No, that's the Mustang, you're right.
Up the inside of the Iron Dames. 2 leading cars in this category from the start. Down on the arm of James Cottingham. 2 years ago, they were contesting the British GT Championship. Yeah. Way wide there from the 33.
That was Keating, yeah, getting a big moment there over those gravel strips that have been added beyond the curbs. Self-policing track limits, Anthony Davidson. And here's the move for second. Yeah,
good move coming up here into turn 12, one of the highest speed corners on the track. Look at that commitment, straight into second place for the Lexus.
And look there at the new light panels on the side. Instead of having 1 dot, 2 dots or 3 dots for positioning class, all the cars now will show their position in class. The colour green, LMGT3. If it's a red number, it's a hypercar.
And he's beginning to look like he's looking for a way by that Alpine ahead for 4th place. That's another off-track moment. Is that the 33 again? It is.
I think that is Ben Keating again, and there's the Mustang coming past. As a result, you cannot blink in this battle. Any mistake, somebody's... Oh, Lexus off.
That's the second Lexus, I think. It is the second Lexus.
Damage.
Yeah, damage to that left front, isn't it? Well, actually, the side of the car. We're going to see a replay of what's happened here. Dives down the inside, but it's a little bit too late, isn't it? Spins around the Ferrari and then gets tagged.
That's also the 46 car of Ahmed Al-Harsi delayed by that.
So
that
it
was
looked like on
late.
board. It's too late. No, it's too late. No. So not only have you sustained some damage to your car and been spun around, I think a penalty is going to be coming your way as well.
Ahmed Al-Harsi did well to avoid A, the accident, and B, the gravel trap that was waiting. But Ben Keating picked up 3 places there as a result of all those cars going off in front. And again, this is This is what racing is all about. It's not about having the fastest car, it's about surviving at the limit of your performance for 10 hours.
Look at this, you've got the Hertz team Jota looking to the outside thanks to that traffic. Is he going to cut in, is Bamba, on the exit of that corner? Get a really good run now on the Alpine. He's putting him under immense pressure, and this isn't going to be settled until they get to the apex of turn 1. Great stuff.
And Habsburg is towing along with Bamba alongside, and we're on board in the Cadillac.
Really close on the braking. Is he going to try and go around the outside, Bamba? He's going to make it stick. He's done it. If he can stay on track limits, he's done it. What a move.
Fantastic stuff. And right up now behind the BMW of Kevin Magnussen. And there might have been a little bit of a battle between Magnussen and the Alpine, which has dropped them back from the 50 Ferrari, because Nick Nielsen's gone.
It was the traffic, Martin. It was the traffic as it unfolded through turn 14, 15, penultimate corner. The Alpine got a particularly bad run because of that situation, and this is where the World Endurance Championship at the top end gets really exciting. That first wave of the LMGT3 cars that you have to come across. Tense stuff.
So much going on in LMGT3. Pedro Embriasco is in the pit lane. Damage to that left front corner. No puncture, as you rightly said. Now then, here comes the Aston Martin. Racing Spirit of Le Mans. Not Le Mans, but Lake Le Mans in Switzerland is where the team is named after. That's where they're based. Hypercars carving through here. And these onboards are frankly terrifying to a normal driver. The speed with Anthony's glue.
This is brilliant. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. This is where you can make a lot of lap time if you take risks in the hypercars.
Good run out of the corner. It looked like from the Cadillac he got dropped back a little from Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen behind the two McLarens as they come by the camera. There's the McLaren. Oh, don't get to see it. Oh, off track goes the first form Manthey Porsche and one of the Valkyries trying to weave their way through as well.
I think maybe the GT car. Oh, and there's a spin. Is that
the Caddy?
It's the 38. It's
yeah,
the 38. Fourth place, Bamba spun.
I reckon this was the fight that we just cut away from, the fight with himself and Kevin Magnussen down in turn. I hope we'll see a replay of that. This is what happened.
Buffalo Girls, and just ran onto the dirty part of the track. He was going around the outside of the...
Well, let's see on board. So
does he tag the McLaren?
Does he tag the McLaren, or does he just lose the rear? Yep, gets hit. 3 into 1. That's a tough one. And where does the McLaren go as well?
Let's hear from the team.
Okay, is the car okay? Is the car okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's a really difficult one to call. And again, you know, you got the bronze drivers out there in the McLaren. I find it really hard to blame a bronze driver in that situation. And that was a hard battle going into that corner. Like I say, 3 into 1.
Yeah.
That's a 10 out of 10 high risk move, but you need to do it because it's for position.
It worked the last time for Bamba around the outside, albeit with a hypercar, but there the gap just wasn't there.
Well, there's
behind him is the 94 Peugeot, and that is the car of Loic Duval. And here, Toyota, and these are the champions of last year. The number 6 drivers champions, Toyota, the manufacturers champions, and bouncing across the curbs, gathering it all back up. The number 6 car, Lawrence Vantor, with Sebastian Buemi just in front of him.
So Buemi making headway in this race, isn't he? He's suddenly the car seems to have come alive, and that was a fight into turn 1. Once again, it seems to be the place on the track to make your overtaking moves. But yeah, the Porsche trying to hang on and go around the outside, and Buemi was having none of it. Politely squeezes him out of road and yeah, onto the gravel, but he had lost the rear before that anyway. Yeah, it's sorry Martin, let's have a look from the outside. He's got the space there. Oh, and gets on the power, but as he gets on the power, the rear just starts to slide around, and Kevin Estre, his teammates, yeah, he would have given that a go as well.
But look at this. This is trouble for Habsburg in the Alpine, because the other BMW has closed right up after they got held up in traffic. So that 20 car of René Rast now looking to make a move. This is the 21 Ferrari going inside the 77 Mustang, and that was a little clumsy, Anthony.
No, I'm not sure that the 77 Mustang saw him actually on the inside, so just carried on turning into the corner and would have felt the hit and backed out of it.
That's François Heriot on his recovery drive after the spin.
So, full course yellow is out. Let's hear from some of our teams.
We job, mate. You're so much faster than it, even with the energy save. You might as well save the energy. You're going to get him and the BMW on the next stint, I guarantee it. This is for debris at turn 1.
Yeah, so a bit of lift and coast, basically. So he's saving energy, saving fuel in the car, because Thomas Floor was doing such a good job in the AF Corsa Ferrari in front of him, such a good job at defending.
9, 8.
We've got the countdown
7,
before they're released
6,
of the full course
5,
yellow.
4, 3.
They've told
2,
Van Rompuy
1.
just to save fuel anyway,
Full
and then you'll
course
get them in
yellow
the pit stop.
removed.
Well, what he's saying is you're going to get them in the next stint anyway, because they believe their tyre degradation
Watch
will be
Alpine.
less. Yeah, the Alpine, the BMW is still not off the limiter.
It's not.
No, so we do see this very occasionally, the electronics glitch, and it does not release the car. And he's now frantically punching the steering wheel, trying to get it to go.
He still had the hazard lights flashing.
Yeah, he still does. So, yeah. Everybody hears the countdown from their engineer at the same time. Now the BMW is up to speed, but those flashing lights normally only come on when you're on the pit lane speed limiter or when you're on the 80 km/h speed limiter. So the number 15 BMW, which was looking for third place, has suddenly gone right back through the field, and past it is not Ferdi Habsburg in the Alpine that was chasing him, but the other Alpine that was 10 places further back.
It's still got hazard lights on that
It
car.
has. So something is not well with the electronics.
Right, the other drivers did really well to avoid him actually in that situation, because when you've got the countdown from your engineer counting down to 0, you are so quick on that button to release the car from being held at 80 kph, and poor old Maxim was right in the middle of it all.
And that will wind back out to the Akoda CSP number 78 car. And the door open.
Dear.
On the 009.
You're going to want to come back as quickly as you can, but like with a puncture, as slowly as possible, because if you rip out the mountings for the door, and Marco
009
Sorensen,
must close the door or bring in the car to repair.
this is shades
009 closes the door or brings the car into repair.
shades of Neil Jarni last year in Spa in the 99 Porsche behind the safety car, trying to slam the door to avoid having to stop.
He's going to have to be really careful here, because it's on the wrong side of the car, but he doesn't want the air to bend that further
To
than
rip it off,
Yes.
exactly, yeah. Those of a certain vintage may remember doors blowing off 956 Porsches in the early Group C days. This is just, they've probably changed the drinks bottle or pumped something into the oil system and not latched the door
And this
closed.
is where you can see, so this is a true hypercar. It's designed to be a road car, a very good road car. And with it, yeah, there you go, door off. He's driving way too fast, irresponsibly too quick for what was going on there. They're not here to win today. They're here to finish and to have as clean a race as possible. And I think that was, yeah, the team should have been onto him to just slow down. Like we all spotted it. And, I was going to say, so it's a road car design, and you wouldn't design a prototype to have a door mechanism like that, because you want to be able to hold it, you want to be able to get hold of it, and that's what Neil Janni was able to do last year in Spa because of the different door design.
Full course yellow down to 80 kilometres an hour.
Well, we're waiting here. Why? Well, my guess would be debris, or maybe a clean-up required.
Well, we've got this full course yellow. It's just a moment to appreciate the job that Buemi has done here in the car number 8. I know I've been going on about there's a bit of bodywork.
It's the door.
It's the door, of course.
It is
it's
the door.
Yeah,
Now-
that needed recovering.
Now there's a souvenir.
They're not supposed to blow the doors off.
Hey!
But going back to where he's now directly behind the sister car of car 7, Mike Conway, who started way up the field in comparison. Buemi started absolutely last, second to last on the grid here today in the hypercar.
So James Costigan leads. We heard from Darren Young, you know, give me something. I'm trying to defend. No, you have to save fuel. And here's Peugeot versus BMW. 15. That's Raffaele Marcello, who took over from Kevin Magnussen when Magnussen was forced to pit with that electronics issue. And Paul Di Resta showing him the curbs. He's still there. Still there. We need spotters in this sport. We need the radio. Still there. He's underneath you. And the BMW just clings on, slips up into 10th place.
The two cars have had their own troubles. This is the two cars side by side. The 93 having had that drive-through penalty, and the 15 with the requirement to change that nose and the electronics issue with Kevin Magnussen at the wheel of the car.
Yeah, both drivers carried as much speed as they could towards the apex there at turn 2. Marcello getting pushed out wide, but keeping his foot in there to make sure he could be on the inside of turn 3.
Understand quite why.
Oh,
Trouble field,
seven.
it's the 7.
Oh dear, so Hartley in the pit lane and Mike Conway in a flat spin. So that was probably going to be his lap before coming in.
5th place at the time that happened for Mike Conway. What happened here?
Oh, just ran wide on the gravel. And does it? No, I was going to say, does that hit the barrier? But no, through the gravel backwards the other way.
Just like Brendan in qualifying.
Yeah, very
Bottoming out on the curbs, runs wide.
But you've got to be careful on those curbs. Here we see on board. This is through turn 5.
Okay, Miles, continue. No cars behind.
That's a really rare mistake from Mike Conway there. Just got the car beached on that serrated curb. That's all it takes. Yeah, like you said, Martin, in a different way to Brendan Hartley's more slow speed coming out of turn 6 yesterday in qualifying where he had that spin, but he did run wide through turn 12, did Brendan Hartley, out of that corner in a similar way. So, yeah, the car must be running quite low.
How are the vibrations?
Yeah,
In trouble
61.
now then. How does this
Christian Reed.
play? How does this play? Christian Reed, bronze driver in the Iron Lynx Mercedes and team principal of the Proton Mustang team. So he is literally racing against his own cars.
Lost it on the exit of turn 9, I'm sure. It's Fuoco now. Definitely one of the most exciting drivers we have in the World Endurance Championship. Exits the pits on all 4 new tyres, and his teammate comes into the pits. Are we going to have a full course yellow, or would this benefit Collado massively? Yes, it would if it does.
Except he won't be able to warm his tyres up. And we just saw there how slow the Ferrari was with all the LMGT3 cars whizzing round him either side because he's on stone cold tyres and it's like driving on ice.
Oh yeah, just lost it. He had a bit of a tank slapper on the exit of turn 9 there. Doesn't hit the barrier, but only just.
That was close, wasn't it?
It's one of those corners on this track that really starts to become very tricky as the race progresses. We mentioned the marbles earlier on. You just
30
get
seconds to VSC.
Virtual safety car coming.
Oh, that's real trouble for the Ferrari. It's got to get out of the
20
pit
seconds
lane
to VSC.
and be in front. Otherwise, it's going to be stuck at the back of the queue.
Virtual safety car in less than 15 seconds. Virtual safety car in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Virtual safety car deployed. VSC.
Now, with a virtual safety car, unlike a direct safety car intervention, pit lane remains open. So the 51 Ferrari will go out, but it'll be at 80 kilometers an hour. And he won't be able to warm his tyres. So effectively, for the next 2 laps at 80 Ks, he'll be weaving furiously, trying to build some heat into those tyres, while everybody else tries desperately to maintain the heat they've got in their tyres. I've been watching sports car racing since 1979, Group 5 transition into Group C. I am not wishing this away. I've seen some highs, I've seen a lot of lows, a lot of very thin grids, and this is absolutely the platinum era of endurance racing. Lights are out on the safety car. Martin Haven, Graham Goodwin and Anthony Davidson correcting me in the booth. In the pit lane, Bruce Ioane and Alex Lequi with the probing questions. And on track, Cadillac 1-2, just as the boss came in for a chat. I hope he got a picture of the timings.
Oh no! Oh no! The absolute nightmare scenario for Jota has just happened. Alex Lynn directly into the back of Jenson Button's car. Both cars damaged.
And badly damaged. I'm not sure that's just a clip.
And both cars into the pits. Inevitably, that was Jenson just braking before accelerating through the final corner to get a run, catching out his teammate Alex Lynn, who was going for it. He was desperate not for Jenson Button to get a gap on him. The Jenson accelerates, brakes early, and then Alex is accelerating. just as Jensen's braking. Oh dear, the nightmare scenario.
And they had the perfect opportunity with the Lexus holding all of the other hypercars up to really get a break.
He thought he had gone. He thought he had
gone.
He accelerated and he went with him.
And it happens. Both cars in the pits. We have gone green. The race is being led by the Ferraris. 1-2 again. 51 leads after it seemed like being caught out horrendously by the safety car. 51 leads, 50 in second place. It is a Ferrari 1, 2, 3 because the 83, the yellow Ferrari, is in third. New tail goes on, or does it, onto 38?
12 is away. 12 is away. So 38 is further delayed.
It was a more complex hit at the back of the car than the front, basically.
JB just totally brake checked me.
That's what you're always going to say, isn't it, when you're the car? I mean, we could all see it. You're completely caught out when the car in front accelerates, and it'd be interesting to see how the stewards look at that one as well.
And we're about this car about to go a lap down. Because the 51 car coming down towards turn 16 now. 12 is away and running.
I mean, obviously nothing's intentional there at all. Nothing's intentional. The only intention that Alex had was obviously to keep the gap as close as possible. When he saw the car go in front, he went with him. As we look back at the action here, car 7 versus one of the Alpines.
Yeah, ahead of the 36 car. That is Kabir Kobayashi just getting the jump on Jules Gounon, who's taken over the car. Dries Van Tor right behind in the 15 BMW. That's the tail end of the top 10 in LMGT3. The Lexus leads. WRT's Ahmed El-Hadi in second place. Then United Autosports McLaren's third and fourth. That's how they were at the end of the stint. Now they should be on fresh tyres and ready to go again, although James Cossingham and Darren Young have stayed in during the safety car.
There's a warning flag for car 51. Report here the number 50 is a repo. And that was a hit from the BMW. That was the, I think that was the 20 BMW.
Yeah, it was. You saw the Shell logo on Robin Fryne's helmet there. Fryne's inside. Let's take a look.
No, it was the other car.
No. Oh, no, I think the other car avoided him. He had a certain... Oh, it was
15.
It was.
It was 15, which was on its first flying lap.
Dries Van Tor.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear.
So just to complete the point, as we went with that drama, it's the other car, the 51 car, it's a warning flag for the overtaking beyond track limits. We've not yet seen a resolution to the other issue of VSC infringement being looked into.
That was sort of 3, 4, 5 into 1 not going on board with Van Tor.
And what they want, no more errors from the whole Ferrari crew, particularly in situations like full course yellows and safety cars.
He's right as well, by the way. We heard Bruce say to Robert that...
oh, look at this. Sorry, Graham. Look at this. Could be a change.
That was a tag as they came through and threaded the needle. And that is the Alpine. That could have been an awful lot worse.
Well, I thought it was going to be an overtake. It was ultimately, but I didn't expect the car to get turned around. And that was, you had the hypercars going in before the final corner, either side of the GT cars. So I need to have another look at that one.
It was at least 3 wide. I think for a moment it was 4 wide.
I think it was 4, wasn't it? And I just sensed as soon as you started talking, sorry to cut in, but look, yeah, in between the two of them, and he has tagged the Porsche. Is that the Iron Dames car? Yes.
I'm gonna he tagged it.
Yeah, exactly. He tagged, yeah. And so this is on the exit in between the two cars. That's risky stuff. And then V is a little bit too far to the right-hand side. I mean, you see a gap. That could have been a high-speed shunt from the car behind as well. The Ferrari that came up very quickly, and look at that. That could have turned around so quickly.
He was so lucky not to collect both GT cars there.
You know what it reminds me of, Graham? It's the moment we saw last year with Earl Bamber and in Spa.
Yes, indeed.
With the Sean Gallale BMW incident. It's just these cars are long, and you got to give it time before you cut back in front. And all it takes that one little veer to the right-hand side. It sounds easy, but it's really not. And just that one moment going in between two GT cars. We've all done it. It's something you do, unfortunately, have to do, but particularly when you're defending your position. So I can't blame him for that. What I can blame him for is just veering to the right slightly, because there's nothing that the Porsche could have done and wouldn't have expected it.
It might well be, actually.
Oh, that's yeah, it's the 51. Oh, right off the track, and is that
a little bit of afters going on there, is there?
Definitely. Oh, that was a very similar moment to what Buemi had earlier on with the GT car, and it just ducking to the inside of that double right-hander and tries to go around the outside, squeezed off the track, but ultimately gets through by having gone off the track into the next right-hand corner at turn 7, because they do more of the work. But look at this battle coming on here with Kevin Magnussen. Just heard from his engine. That's a brave one, trying to go around the outside as we just look at the Jotas for a minute there. Did he make? I think he managed to make that move stick, didn't he? Around the outside of the double right-hander.
That was the
Magnussen on Jakobsen battle. And Malte Jakobsen, first stint as a factory driver. Is he going to bang wheels and force somebody else off and pick up a penalty?
With Kevin
No.
Magnussen?
If he's got him, honestly, if you're Malte Jakobsen, if he's got alongside, he's clearly alongside, survival.
There it is.
See how it happened. So yeah, really late on the brakes, wasn't he? It's Magnussen round the outside. Brilliant stuff, and good respect as well between the two drivers. And this is another look at that replay, because we just switched away from it before. Wow, really fighting the rear end through turn 4. I bet he couldn't believe that he was actually given the room there on the exit of turn 4, but amazing stuff between the two.
Oh, trouble for 009.
Yeah.
That's in the hands of Roman De Angelis. And that car's been around.
Hasn't it? There's a lot of muck in the track, but it looks like he may just have had a fairly harmless half spin. Unfortunately, it's lost the engine.
It's not in a very nice place either, if he can't get that car rolling and quickly.
Yeah, this is on the exit of turn 5.
Like
the corner where Conway had his spin earlier on. It's quite a high-speed corner.
Lights are back on the camera mount. 007 is in. He was reporting a vibration on the radio shortly before the spin, so maybe that he's got an issue that caused that. Now, that I think he may have been waiting for the marshals to give him a little wave that there was a gap in traffic. Ooh, well, the first thing he's going to need is some fresh tyres.
What is that smoke in his
Looks like a nut. It looks like a nut. It didn't look like rubber. I think you're right.
The spin, the brake went almost to the floor.
Okay, copy. We box at the end of the lap. Try to get the car back.
Not a piston out of a brake caliper.
It was smoking, whatever it was.
It was not cool, was it, dear? Marshals, put your gloves on.
Back towards turn 1. BMW's got the inside covered. And round the outside. Try it on. It's a bit banked, that corner as well. 6 degrees of banking. It helps you when you try and commit to the outside. And yeah, nice move. Good driving between the two of them there. And it's always nice to see. You take it to the edge. You run your competitor close, but there's no contact.
4, 3, 2, 1. Virtual safety car deployed. VSC, VSC.
So this means we get down to control conditions, but pit lane will stay open for 2 laps while they clear up the deconstructed rear end of the Porsche 963, the 99 car in the hands of Nico Veroni, running through the gravel. I think catching the lip of that gravel trap with the rear end of the car, which is what's done quite a lot of damage there. We will then go to safety car, gentlemen. So everybody that wants to pit, which will be pretty much all of them, will pit at this stage. We'll see again the incident.
Just running wide, and we've seen it so many times. The cars get beached over the lip of that curb, and you've got the curb there as well. And you know, before that gravel trap, the driver simply would have just gone straight on, well, carried momentum way off the track, and it would have been a track limits. But the driver now is desperately trying to hang on to keeping the car on the track, and you pay the price of going over.
The yellow Ferrari, that is the Air Corsa car of Phil Hansen. Leading at the restart from Miguel Molina with Nick de Vries and Ryo Hirakawa 3rd and 4th for Toyota.
But look at this, already.
Well, there you go. He's under pressure. Really good restarting from Miguel Molina. Now, who's got temperature in the tyres for the braking battle at the end of the straight? Hansen holds on. That's not Molina, that's a Porsche trying to go around, so trying to unlap itself.
It's Michael Christensen, the number 5 car, the first
mistake,
lap car.
sorry, Graham, mistake there from Hansen in turn 2. Ran a little bit wide, didn't meet the apex, and actually has been overtaken. Lost that position there. I mean, it's not a position for the lead, but the Porsche's managed to unlap itself.
His engineer should have been going, let him go, it's not your battle. Your battle is with the Ferrari. That Ferrari, the red car, in second place. So actually, yeah, the Porsche has gone, and that's not bad news for Phil Hansen. He'll pick up a little bit of a toe on the straight.
Next year, is that correct?
Correct. Next season, we will provide a new range of tires.
Smoke in the car.
Yeah, this is not good news for the 77 Proton car that caught fire. He's pulling over. Bernardo Souza pulling over. Right, bailing out very quickly, fire underneath the car. This is almost a direct repeat of what happened to Ben Tuck in the very first session of the Prologue last week. He gets out and he's not been able to stop right by a fire point. Safety car scrambled immediately by Eduardo Freitas because he's going to want to send a fire engine or something down there. Nearest marshal's post is right beside him, but it's not a fire post. And he is absolutely powerless to do anything about it. So there is an onboard fire extinguisher system, but this is deja vu all over again for the team.
I think the extinguisher went off actually when he was trying to get.
It looked like it in the cockpit, didn't it? But it does not extinguish. There's a double system inside the cockpit to provide protection for the driver, but also underneath the bonnet. And he's just, somebody please come with a fire extinguisher. Now the marshals obviously are reticent to just start running across the track immediately because there are racing cars out there.
Well, and actually the driver can't cross the track either, so you've got to stick to, and that's not good. Yeah,
he's going to try and save the car if he can, rather than stand and watch it burn to the ground.
But you're not allowed to cross the track under a safety car situation. So yeah, he's going to be getting a fine or some kind of penalty coming his way as well. I think this is the aftermath. What we saw as they headed down towards turn 1, there was a bit of contact through turn 2 and a trip through the gravel for the Air Force of Ferrari.
So that's Kelvin van der Linde. Alessio Rivera, I think.
Ooh, yeah, there's the contact. Yep. Ooh. I'm sure he'll be complaining about that one. And that was close as well, coming back onto the track, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Really close for the Lexus, I think it was. There was just minding his own business around turn 3. And, ooh, what could have been there? Lucky escape. But I mean, there was nothing that, who was it behind the 21? It was, yeah, Rivera. Nothing he could have done there in the rejoin.
Well, that's good news for Nick de Vries, because what he doesn't want is a lighter Porsche giving him aggravation from behind. He wants his focus to be entirely on trying to close the gaps to the Ferraris. Valentino Rossi out to the pits.
Ooh, that was close, wasn't it?
Fending off an attack. In fact, not fending off an attack, moving ahead of Simon Mann. So this is Valle's outlap. He's already picked up a place. That's why he's doing what he's doing. He has not lost his competitive edge. Let's talk BMW again. And so that relationship is super important as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, you trust the people. You have to trust the people that are around you. You have to trust the people that are designing and preparing your cars, and your teammates as well. And this is getting a bit tense, isn't it, between these two? And so Simon Mann dives down the inside into turn 4. Rossi knew it was coming, and he's through.
And Valle's going to have to be careful as well. He's only been in the car about 3 laps. He's already had a warning flag for abusing track limits. That is his 4th track limit abuse. That is his final warning. If he does it again during this stint, or a double stint if he stays in for a double, he will get a penalty for it. So
whatever the form of this car through this season and beyond, it's already an icon. It just is. It's a marvellous thing. Maybe not that one.
Well, no, and this is exactly why they are here, exactly what everybody has to do with a brand new program. You've got to iron out the bugs. You've got to fix the things that break and then go out and try and break them again.
That's endurance racing, and the guys working very hard indeed. They will be trying to get that car back out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and everything that they learn now and the next race and all of the other races this year, because you can't just throw upgrades at these cars every single race. You know, you have to use a joker and use it wisely when you do. So they've got to accumulate all of that knowledge now, learn all the things that are wrong with the car, and they will be wrong with the car, because predominantly it's a track car, isn't it? A very good track car, and things are naturally going to go wrong with it when you put it on a racetrack and try and do a 10-hour race and 24-hour race later on in the year. But then you've got to be very wise in where you spend your money when that joker does come along. Like we've seen with Peugeot, they did this in inverted commas update, and it wasn't that much faster, if at all, compared to the previous iteration. So you've got to make very sure, you've got to make sure that that car, when you do use your joker, is definitely going to be an upgrade, and you've learned all your lessons in terms of how you can improve it for when that time comes. And I'm sure that's what they're going to do with that car.
Well, remember that the other thing, the next race for the Valkyrie is the single car in the IMSA Championship at Sebring, and you've been there, you know, punishing that place is. Here's the even more remarkable news, sniffed out by Stephen Kilby, my colleague, is it's going to be a 24-hour test for Aston Martin Thor team at Sebring with their test car.
In the number 20 BMW, he's still got work to do to try and get onto terms with Rio Hirakawa, but again, here comes Marcello. Now, from a driver's eye view, did Schumacher over-defend? Did he squeeze a little? I thought as a fan it looked fairly clean. Here we go again. Schumacher's having a look around the outside. Raffaele Marcello having a look around the outside of Schumacher. This time he got a little further alongside. And Rob Bell, that was clean. First time round, you're a racing driver. You see it with a different eye to us. There's a little applause from Marcello's teammates in 15.
Yeah, to be honest, the first time round, it just didn't quite work, and they had a little touch, to be honest with you. My perspective is, you know, there's no need to get on the radio and moan about that one too much. If I'm honest, it was a little bit of rubbing. But look, he's persevered, he's got the job done, and I suspect we'll see him potentially disappear a bit.
They have not, we haven't heard one bit of driver talking about, oh yeah, I've really had to save the tyres, in that I was clever where I saved the speed, so that meant that I had better tyres later on in my stint. They have been wringing its neck for all it's worth.
Either that or the language has been so foul we haven't dared broadcast it. So I'm not quite, somewhere between very happy and very, 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 very unhappy, but they're still on the hard tyre. Still nobody has gone for left side mediums, not as far as we've seen. Driver change in 50. So Nick Nielsen got out.
As long as they can get the warm-up in them okay, which they seem to have been not really struggling with at all today, then they can just keep using the hard tyres on the left-hand side. Remember, they're the ones that are going to take the brunt of the impact on this circuit with the high speed. Oh, a bit of a slow right front over there.
This could be the lead.
Right sides only.
Where is the 83 car? And the answer is coming down to turn 16. They'll be away and free, but it will not be too big a lead here. 50 at pit exit now.
He was well over 10 seconds ahead when before car 83 pitted last time.
That's the gap now, and it's not 10 seconds.
And he's going to suffer the first couple of corners at least. Is Antonio Fuoco, who's taken over from Nielsen because of the tyre warm-up, the lack of tyre warm-up. So here comes car 83 of Robert Kubica, fully in the groove with warm tyres, goes to the outside and makes the overtake.
Yeah, straight away. So those cold right side tyres didn't affect him so much in turn 1, but in turn 2, no grip when he leant on them. And the teams have sort of learned that. We've seen a lot of keeping half the car on warm tyres and only cycle in 2 cold tyres because of that degradation to performance in the opening couple of laps. Not only do you lose the speed, but if you try and force the warm-up, you actually destroy the tyre for what effectively could well be a double stint. Or not. There you can see that Kubica will have to stop before Fuoco, so Fuoco will go through into the lead.
Yeah, so Kubica's got 5 more laps under his belt in this stint than Fuoco.
Fuoco actually with energy than almost anybody else. So they're running further along. The number 6 Porsche has stopped more recently, so is the 94 Peugeot. But of our potential front runners, it is the 50 Ferrari that has stopped most recently, and so they will continue on beyond the pit stop. So he will regain that track position.
What will really help Fuoco here and car 50 is if he can actually overtake on track. And then it's completely job done. So Kubica, I mean, the fight is on. Kubica has to keep him behind to give themselves any hope of a chance to win this race today.
Keep it easy on the curbs.
Oh, interesting. Take it easy on the curbs. Does that mean they're getting energy spikes?
Take it easy on the curbs, but not on car 83.
Yeah, the only rule if you're an AF Corsa driver in 50 or 51 is don't hit the red car. Yellow car, yeah, all bets are off.
Right, here we go. So it's going to be the, I mean, obviously you drag the right-hand side tyres around all of the right-hand corners as well, and you do get a significant grip advantage, but it's mainly in corners like this one here, turn 2, turn 6 and turn 10, where that right side medium tyre is really going to help him out.
Ready for the 83, ready for Robert Kubica to pat, and he dives to the pits.
Oh, hang on a minute, that's Fuoco overtaken off track.
Yep.
The Porsche. And I know it's an LMGT3, it's not in the same category. He just overtook a car completely off circuit.
Yep. Gaining advantage, exceeding the track limits. It's a penalty no matter who it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave that one to the stewards to either spot or investigate. But meanwhile, car 83 in the pits. Let's see if they're going to change any tyres at all.
Now, the other end of the points, number 5 Porsche has just pitted for their final stop. They've dropped down from 9th to 11th place. The 83 is already down to 6th position. That's how close the top 5 are.
There was thumbs up for the Michelin tyre technician to the pit wall after examining the front left Michelin on the 83.
Tyres are ready. They can't, can they? They mustn't. Those left sides.
So they are. They're gonna take these. This is good. They're gonna try to take these tyres right to the end, and so they're trying to hang on to track position. That's what they're trying to do. So Fuoco has to virtually overtake now by doing the overcar, and they're going to put less fuel in his car when he does come in 5 laps time or 4 laps time.
No, Fuoco will be last to stop. Collado will stop earlier.
Yeah, so I'm just focusing on the lead of the race here. So it's 50 versus 83. So 83 hasn't taken that decision not to change tyres because they're hanging on to track position. It's the only chance they've got. So car 50 has to, in these critical laps coming up now, try to, like I keep saying, virtually overtake Kubica.
Into the pits comes 51 and a driver change we hear, or potential for a driver change. So Fuoco's on his own out front. 51 pits a little earlier maybe than they absolutely needed to.
As we watched that, it was 7 seconds longer than a no tyre pit stop for those 2 left tyres for the Toyota. That was very rapid indeed.
Anticipated 10, so yeah, Toyota have done a great job there. As we watch car 51, driver change is happening with 49 minutes to go.
Why? Collado's been their best driver so far. He knows the tyres, he's got the tyres. So Alessandro Pierguidi gets in. Antonio Fuoco leads. Robin Frying's up to 2nd. And Sebastian Buemi in the pits in the number 8 car just in front. That's on the right-hand side. And are they going left sides as well?
They are.
Wow. Okay, now left sides for the 51 Ferrari as well.
They've had to copy what Toyota. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? The release there. They've had to copy the threat from Toyota number 7, who was directly behind them on track. So they've just copied what they've done.
Now, does that mean that the number 50 car doesn't have to, or does it mean they now have time that they could?
Yeah, they don't have to. Their fight is with this car here on screen, who have decided to maintain track position
And you see the way the Aston Martin just went straight past him, like the Aston's the hypercar and the Toyota is the GT car. Hello?
And there's the 51 struggling on their outlap with the fresh left-hand tyres.
There you go.
But it will start to come good in a lap's time, and then you'll have, for the left-hand side, then you'll start to have a more significant lap time advantage compared to when you just put the right-hand side tyres on.
There's not much meat on the bone.
Here it comes.
Leader in.
So on the pit lane, the 93 Peugeot.
Hard tyre left front. Nobody has used left side mediums yet in the entire race.
So as we ride on board with car 50 as he comes to a standstill, the big question is, Martin, where is car 83?
Turn 7 right now.
Yeah, a third of a lap in, 2/3 of a lap to go.
Has FIA done enough in these last couple of laps?
He should have. It's a 1 minute 40 odd lap.
Thumbs up all round again from the Michelin tyre engineer as the fuel goes in.
83 at turn 11 now.
There's that one tyre on the apron, you can just see it as we looked past the fuel man as soon as the hose comes off.
FIA did, by the way, the fastest middle sector of anyone in the race. From that
14, and the car is rolling. They've not taken that tyre.
No, they waved it off, and 83 is down at turn 15, so FIA will be in turn 1 before the 83 car crosses the line. He'll have half the length of the straight at least.
As Kubica predicted, there was no need to stress. Look, there you go. Less fuel in the car, and that tyre advantage that he had from before served him well once he was unleashed and in a free, open track without staring at the back of the yellow Ferrari. So, yeah, lead of the race. That's what we expected to happen now with car 50. Great job by FIA. He kept his cool in the end when he needed to.
35 minutes to go here. This is our race leader, Antonio Fuoco. He leads a Ferrari 1-2-3 in Hypercar, BMW in 4th, ahead of 2 Toyotas, and in LMGT3, it's the WRT BMW car, number 31, that leads from Heart of Racing's Aston Martin, and TF Sports Corvette in 3rd place. More than that, it's a win, and McLaren have not had that. Now, in the yellow car, Danny Juncadella, platinum graded driver, the highest driver rating there is. Behind him, Grégoire Saucy, a gold rated driver, so another pro, but not rated the same.
Here we go.
Here he comes.
Juncadella's going to have to defend here on the inside, and yeah, he does. McLaren's going to the outside, but he's not going to get it done that time around. Is he going to line himself up? Is he close enough for a lunge down the inside into turn 2? Thinks about it, but Juncadella's got it covered.
Turn 6. That's going to be his opportunity. I think so.
Well, what's this hypercar going to do on the inside? Tense stuff here. And he's going to try to go around the outside. No, he can't go around the outside of turn 4. Switches back, has a look down the inside for 5, but Juncadella's got that covered. He's going to place the car, the Corvette, to the inside of turn 6 if he feels necessary. No, he doesn't. But it's a slightly earlier turn in than he maybe would have done otherwise. But this threat is growing all the time.
There you see your race leader, the 50 Ferrari, 83 close behind. How close? 2.5 seconds behind. So Antonio Fuoco still nursing his left front tyre, and at the back of the shot, Alessandro Pierguidi, who is now just 3.3 seconds behind. They are going to close up in the final 20 minutes for a photo finish, but do not expect the 83, the yellow Ferrari, to lunge for the line successfully. I don't think we're going to get a Ford at Le Mans style upset here.
Yeah, Fuoco's doing exactly what he was told. We can hear from their radio now.
We can do Charlie 11, position 2 to burn some fuel.
Also watching, by the way, in battle for positions. We are expecting the leading BMW in LMGT3 to pit, but the last podium position still up for grabs. Ben Barnicoat is charging onto the back of Alessio Rivera in the currently 4th placed Ferrari. that could change by the end of this race with 16 minutes to go.
At the moment, as you just saw, Hypercar, Ferrari 1, 2, 3, and they look like they're remaining in position. Team WRT, the leader, that 31 car, the Bend sponsored effort, that is maybe another lap to go. Meanwhile, Sean Gallel has taken the Wing Foot Award for this first race of the season, the most valuable driver in LMGT3, put his 95 car on pole position in a front row lockout by United Auto Sports McLaren. There is the race leader in LMGT3. Unfortunately, they're in the lead by dint of having stopped earlier, jumped the others.
Speaking of closing up, look at this. Sose has, he's close again. Oh, he didn't even think about it, not quite close enough, was he, by the end of the straight there on the braking.
These top three, all in the Drivers' Championship, remember. They will get points for their relative positions in Hypercar, as will the guys in LMGT3. But the 83 will not score points in the Manufacturers' Championship. The 51 will take second place points.
This will get interesting. They got, the Hypercar race leader coming up, Fuoco now, splitting them momentarily between this double apex right-hander. Then he's going to go down the inside, no doubt, before turn, around the outside of turn 6. And that was a bit too close. The two race leaders
really squeezed the Corvette, and the McLaren did slightly less badly out of that, but he's got two more Ferraris coming up, and Sose really has to, this might be his only chance to win this race.
Yeah, here comes Robert Kubica, and on the tail now of the 83 car is Alessandro Pierguidi in the 51.
You kind of get the feeling something's going to happen here with the Hypercars coming through it.
Kubica's not going to waste any time, is he? He's going to weave around them, goes by both.
And there are more coming as well after this round of the top three coming through. You've then got you've got a Porsche back there as well, car number 15, the BMW, and Aston Martin Valkyrie. So yeah, it's 10 minutes. It's still not over for this LMGT3 scrap.
Yeah, it really isn't. Robert Kubica in second place.
Timo Boguslavski, by the way, has rejoined in third place in that BMW, but is being caught by both Alessio Rivera and that charge from Ben Barnicoat, just 3 seconds behind the Ferrari. Third place is a battle between three cars with 10 minutes to go in MGT3.
So he's showing his nose. He's a little closer this time, not the closest he has been. Does he get helped out by the Hypercar Porsche behind? Not yet. Now, where does the Porsche pass the McLaren, and what happens with the Corvette? McLaren's very good, 1-2, right on the back of the Corvette, but gets held up by the Porsche. So that little advantage that he's got in road holding there doesn't pay off.
I think where it really hurts the GT car is if they get overtaken on the inside into turn 2. And then that's where you can capitalise if you're in the McLaren.
Inside the final 10, this is the fourth place BMW of Dries van Tor. Goes around the outside of the Corvette, don't drift out wide. Danny Juncadella just gets out of the way as Juncadella has to allow the car out to the curb on the exit.
Lost a lot of momentum there though because of that, and has to therefore turn in a little bit early into turn 10. He's got that covered.
And this is where the McLaren's got the slight advantage, hasn't he? He's got road holding, and here comes the Hypercar. The Aston Martin, they're side by side. The Aston cuts across the nose of the McLaren, and the Corvette clings on.
Yeah, it will be close because Fuoco now is in the penultimate corner, 24 seconds to go.
Yeah.
He might just scrape past the line and give us all one more lap here.
I think he might have to.
Yeah, I think he will.
He really
just
can't
do it.
afford to slow down too much because the speed of the cars behind will carry them by. And with 8 seconds to go, Pierguidi gets his wish, one more lap. Last lap for our race leaders. The LMGT3 cars are out of turn 6, so they will do this one and one more, or will they see the checkered flag when they get to the line? My brain can't work with that right now. Here's the battle for second in the race. Still Robert Kubica holding off Alessandro Pierguidi.
The battle for third is going to be caught by the race leader now. It's the final lap for the number 50 car, and he's coming up on the battle.
Leaders. Now our LMGT3 battle is coming up to turn 12 as the leaders come out of turn 6, they might all cross the line together.
Here they are.
There's the Corvette versus the McLaren. Checkered flag awaits. And Alessandro Pierguidi all over the back of Robert Kubica as a yellow Mercedes slides off the turn. That's the Iron Lynx car of Matteo Cairoli.
Kubica's done a really good job here, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think all day he's driven really well, and he's read this race brilliantly. And so far, he's just soaked up the pressure from Pierguidi behind him. Clearly on the faster tyres at this point in the race, and yeah, he's been decisive when he needed to be in traffic. Yeah, impressive drive from him today.
And all three drivers, Phil Hansen, Yefei, no penalties, no mistakes, minimal contact in traffic that we've seen, so they've been clean. But our race leader, car number 50, heading towards the checkered flag, the first race outside France for a red Ferrari. It is victory for car number 50. Ferrari, of course, as Antonio Fuoco takes the checkered flag. Second, Robert Kubica. Third, Alessandro Pierguidi. It is a podium sweep for Ferrari, the first in the hypercar category. BMW crosses the line in fourth place, but the battle for the lead in LMGT3 did go past the line. They are still on the final lap.
The battle for third has finished. It has gone the way of the BMW, the Corvette well ahead. Fourth, though, on the line goes to the Lexus. Now we've got the last few turns for this LMGT3 battle. 33 Corvette, 59 McLaren.
Is Sosi going to send it down into the hairpin? They're out of turn 10. He's not. This is where Danny Juncadella must cling on. 4 corners to go as they come up to 12. Out of 12 to 13, from 13 to 14. And Gregoire Sosi has pushed really hard for victory in the McLaren. But it is going to be, it seems, the Corvette, unless there's a cataclysmic error from Juncadella in the yellow car, that will take the honours. Final turn, the fireworks are going off, and they're going to be going off in the Corvette garage as well. It is going to be a win in LMGT3 for TF Sport and the Corvette, and inches ahead of United Autosports McLaren. Danny Juncadella holds him off. Gregoire Sosi could not get there. Well, they're going to have to give team boss Tom Ferrier a contagious disease a few more times this season if it means a win.
Well, they're looking a little world champion-like, aren't they? They've got the dander up, and it now becomes a bit of battle of wills and a battle of psychology of racing, potentially between the two factory crews.
It looks great now seeing Ferrari 1, 2, 3. It's easy to think a season of domination. It doesn't work like that in the World Endurance Championship. It really doesn't. The way that the balance of performance works as well. We don't talk about it very often, but it does mean that every dog will have their day. And today was clearly Ferrari's day. It wasn't easy for them, but they got there in the end, the first, second and third.
50 Ferrari leads the podium sweep, and we sort of neglected the rest of the top 6. BMW's car number 15, 4th place, so close to a podium. Toyota 5th and 6th after qualifying that promised much less than that. Outside the top 10, Porsche Penske's number 6 car, the number 5 car just finishing in 10th position, grabbing the last of the points. One of the caddies was in the points, one of the Peugeots, and neither in the end of the Alpine. But in LMGT3 was Corvette ahead of McLaren and BMW and Lexus and Ferrari and Aston Martin. In the end, as so much of the race, 6 brands in the top 6.